Ironically, this is an interim function which I expect will be as intense as it will be brief. To put it bluntly, there is a lot to do and very little time to do it in. I will not stand here and promise the moon and the stars. The time that I will serve in government is too short. I'm not running for office in the next elections, but I have chosen to serve this interim government because I believe I can make a contribution to the post-Irma recovery process. After the election, St. Martin voters will have elected the people they feel can complete this process. Note that while this interim government will not be able to solve every problem facing us, we will start the ball rolling in terms of the reconstruction and recovery of this country. Let's have a reality check. The people of St. Martin are hurting. The roofs of many homes are still missing or damaged. Some homes have crumbled under the pounding of Hurricane Irma. The economy is in a vulnerable state. Our airport is still a disaster zone, and our hotels and resorts are mostly destroyed. Many businesses remain closed, and too many people are jobless or face loss of income in the coming months. We must also deal with the added pressure of the next hurricane season, which starts in less than 6 months. In plain language, St. Martin is in a deep hole, and the climb out is steep. We cannot solve this problem alone. Thankfully, there is a reconstruction fund. An amount of €550 million has been made available by the Dutch government. But while a part of this fund has been earmarked for liquidity support, and a few million have already been committed for immediate aid, the bulk of the funds remains uncommitted. It's been over 4 months since the disaster struck, and only this week the process for setting priorities regarding the recovery has really begun. We need to get the committed Dutch funds into projects that will benefit the people, and we need to do it sooner than later. People want, need, and deserve help to get their lives back. This is only one thing I know. There's one thing I know about St. Martin, and that is St. Martin is resilient, and this resilience is driven by the spirit of our people. I also know that the St. Martin people are ready for recovery. We must get it done. The World Bank has been commissioned by the Dutch to manage the fund. According to the Dutch reconstruction representative, St. Martin is in the driver's seat, and I want to take them at their word for that. We must be in the driver's seat. St. Martin is a place that we know best, and we should know what to do with the funds that we need to fix it. Here is what I believe the government should do. The primary objective in the first month must be to quickly and professionally establish a Reconstruction Project Bureau. This bureau will help draft a program of priorities, including a clear vision statement for recovery of St. Martin. The priorities of this reconstruction must be listed and explained. With this approach, we can come together with the World Bank and the Dutch representatives, use input from stakeholders, and speed up the revival of the economy of the island, which in turn will continue to drive the economy. But most importantly, we need to clearly state what we intend to and how we plan to do it. Priorities must balance the social needs with the economic realities. Historically, the success of St. Martin has been the productive capacity of the island's residents and businesses. The situation after Hurricane Irma's destruction, including the despicable acts of vandalism and looting, is unprecedented. Never before has the damage of a hurricane been so catastrophic to our physical structures across every sector of the community and the economy. Both business and labor have been impacted. Reconstruction priorities must therefore provide social support to our people and at the same time stimulate the economic engine of this island. I'm prepared to work with my colleagues in government, the civil servants, professionals in the public and private sectors, representatives of the World Bank and the Dutch to develop the program of priorities by February 15th. St. Martin simply cannot wait any longer for action. Again, we must set priorities and discuss how we're going to go about them. Together, we need to work on getting the reconstruction funds channeled into projects that will help us get back on our feet as soon as possible. As for my portfolio as Minister of Finance, let me say this. I'm aware of the fact that there will be a lot to deal with. We inherit the reality of a possible instruction from the Dutch government because there is no budget approved for fiscal year 2018. The CFT issued a negative advice at the end of 2017. Politically, we may not agree with this advice because we feel there should be consideration for the catastrophe caused by Irma. Nevertheless, this ministry has to deal with the advice, and that is exactly what we have started to do. We face a precarious financial situation. Besides the lack of a budget for 2018, we must deal with a deficit on our 2017 budget of over 150 million guilders. Complicating matters is the anticipated deficit for fiscal year 2018, which is estimated to an amount of 250 million guilders. Ways and means have to be found to reduce the deficit so that in future, St. Martin will not be drowning in debt and burdened by financial problems that will make the growth and development difficult, if not impossible. The work towards finding these solutions has started. The budget 2018 will be drawn up. I seek the support of the ministers and the civil service to keep the deficit down, improve the financial management, reduce waste, and improve efficiency. To that end, all decisions for spending of the last 90 days will be reviewed, and government departments will need to provide insight and substantiation for current spending and investments. I fully expect that the Council of Ministers will uncover many more challenges. So yes, the time is short and the hurdles ahead are daunting. To me, that means that all of us as incoming ministers have to carefully pick our battles and do the things that will provide the most benefit for St. Martin on the short term and long term. As difficult as I know this will be, we must focus on the forest and not get blinded by all the trees. This interim government council of ministers has committed to work as a team. I certainly will do my part. The clock is ticking. People want action. I look forward to cooperation, a positive can-do attitude, and support from all.